This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today from site at the Rost Well, that's near Dodge City in Kansas, is Nick Tulloch, the CEO of Voyager Life. Thank you very much for taking the time, Nick. How are you?
Oh, absolute pleasure, Mark. Yeah, very, very good. It's another sunny day, but quite windy day in Kansas, which I guess is what you'd expect. But all good.
Indeed. Well, let's have get an idea of where you are and what you're looking at. I can see fields of corn behind you, it looks like.
Well, I always say this is one of our most beautiful locations. We are literally standing in the middle of a cornfield. Hopefully, you can see as the camera pans around. But where I am is the Rost Well. Now, this is the well that we tested recently at 5.1% helium and at a pressure of 47 MCF. Now, the well's been completed. We're looking to go into production in the near term. And what you can sort of probably see just behind me is the pad that's ready for the pump to come in. And as you probably saw when the camera went round a moment ago, another pad, which is where our PSA will go. So unlike some of our wells in the Hugoton, where we can actually access Scout's gathering system, we're a little bit more off-grid here. So we'll be purifying the helium on site before taking it to market.
Right. Okay. So just next to it is the wellhead. So that's that pole. Right. We can see that's just in situ. It's sealed off.
Yep. So I know it doesn't look like much, but this is our highest content helium well.
Right. Okay. And that's ready to go. Ready to put a pump on it and start producing.
We're ready to go. So the pump goes right behind where I'm standing. Just so you can see the gravel pad. Over on this side, we've got the first tank. We're taking some of the water out of the well, so we'll start hauling water in the near term. And then the other pad you would have seen when we panned around a moment ago, where the PSA, so our on-site purification facility, will be based there. And that's actually due to arrive in the very near term as well. So we'll have that in place pretty soon.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, I assume the purpose of the visit is to oversee this as a good, manager, good project manager would do. You say it's not part of the Scouts. He's too far from the Scouts network, so you happen to purify on site, and then what? Logistically, take it to the network.
Yeah, we've got two options. So we'll purify on site, put it into tanks, or compress it into tanks on site. And you can see we've got quite a wide area around us. We'll then truck it to one of two places, either to an access point in Scout's network. There's also another business not so far away, actually a wee bit closer, so the other possibility is trucking it to them as well. And we're just in the final stages of working out where we're going to get the best price and the best deal.
Okay.
But as I said, we've got a lot of high hopes as well, given the helium content, given the pressure. There's hopefully a good story to tell in the near term.
And all you've just described, getting the pump back on, getting it re-pumping helium there, getting the PSI on site, that's all relatively easy and costed for?
It's costed for. The PSA belongs to us. The pump is on its way. You can see we're sort of ready to go. The well is completed, so we're now in the process of, we take out the excess water and we start selling helium. Okay,
and I mean, timeline's always tricky, Nick, but can you give us an idea?
Yeah, I'm always pretty conservative. I mean, there's no coincidence why I'm here today. We're expecting more of the team and more of the equipment to arrive later on. We should be in a position to start hauling water in the next week or two, and we should be in a position to start selling helium. I would say in the next month or two. So it's very near term. It's natural resources. Sometimes the ground doesn't behave as you hope it's going to behave, but I think we've done the hard work here. And this is now about getting the product into market.
Good. Well, thank you very much for those insights. Anything else you want to achieve during this trip?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in Kansas for a couple of days. I was in Dallas yesterday, seeing some of our partners. We'll go around the other wells. Last time you and I spoke, we'd just tied in the Smith and the Nilsson wells. So those wells are now both connected to the Scout gathering system, and we're now selling helium through those two. So we're going to take a look at those, see how they're looking. We've got other sites, obviously, in the Hugoton as well. Everything is reasonably close. I mean, in a sort of, in an American style, I mean, nothing is more than sort of an hour and a half away. I mean, even where we are now, although we're not within the Scout system, we're only about an hour and a half from Jayhawk, which is the main processing plant that we use. Dodge City, if you're into cowboy films, that's just over there. So the reason we call this Fort Dodge is we're not far from where Wyatt used to be. So it's another sort of couple of days to sort of whistle stop tour, a bit of time in the car, and seeing as much as I can.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Nick. I'm glad we were able to get cell reception on site, and looking forward to catching up with you when you're back and you're talking about that well at Rost getting into production.
Terrific. Well, thanks very much, Mark. And who would have thought 5G out in the middle of a cornfield? It's like the 21st century.
Indeed it is. Well, thank you very much, Nick Tulloch, CEO of Voyager Life.
Thanks, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programmes at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.